Though Diwali has passed on the calendar, its meaning still burns within us. Because Diwali for us isn't simply a festival, it is also a declaration. It's the people's way of saying we have seen tyranny before and we will not bow to it again. See, across India, Diwali takes many forms. In northern India, it is Rama and Sita's victorious return to Ayodhya, justice and love restored after exile. And in Bengal, it is Kali Puja, fierce compassion rising to confront oppression through the mother goddess. And in Western India, it is Lakshmi's Day, a call to honor the labor and abundance that sustain life. And in southern India, where I grew up, it is the story of Krishna and Satyabhama facing Naraka, the tyrant king. Now, Narakasura, his very name means hell. He was born of divine parents and began with a lot of promise, but pride burned in him like fire. And power, once meant to serve, became the god he served. And so Naraka conquered, Naraka enslaved, and he silenced the truth and locked away the light. Even Bhudevi, the earth herself, cried out in pain, and Krishna heard her cries. But Krishna did not go alone. He went with Satyabhama, his beloved, his equal, whose courage met his compassion. And together they entered the fortress of fear, Naraka's fortress, and began the battle. And when Krishna fell, Satyabhama arose. With her steady hand, she struck the tyrant's chains, and the captives walked free. Now that's the story. And that's one of the stories that is remembered on the eve of Diwali. But this story is not about gods and demons. It is actually about us. It is about what happens when the people, those told their hands are too rough, their voices too small, reach again for the power that has always been theirs. It is what happens when we stop waiting for saviors and begin to act as the bearers of liberation ourselves. In the Bhagavad Gita that we heard earlier, Krishna says to Arjuna, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyudhanam adharmasya tadatmanam shrujamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam dharma samsthapanardhaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Whenever righteousness declines and injustice rises, I manifest myself in the world to protect the good and to transform the oppressor. To restore the balance of life, I am born age after age. Now that manifestation is not thunder in the sky, it is the breath of justice through human hearts. It is love taking form through you and me again and again, whenever cruelty must be faced. And the Upanishads teach that the divine light shines within every being. That is the ear of the ear, the mind of the mind, the speech of speech, the breath of the breath. It is the light that leads us from untruth to truth, from mortality to immortality, and to that which is transient, to that which is permanent. That light is what Diwali celebrates, not as some victory, a mythic victory long ago, but the living presence of truth and love within each of us, calling us to act. Now, in every home during Diwali, Shaili mentioned that lamps are placed all over the house. But there is a small lamp that is also placed at the threshold, the space where the inside meets the outside, where the private meets the public, where faith meets the world. My mother used to say every time she lit the light at the threshold that this one is for the world. It reminds us that the awakening to the divine within us means nothing if it does not shine beyond us. It is not enough to tend the flame inside if we do not carry that flame into the streets, into the systems, into the struggles that still keep people bound. Because the shadows we face are real. Hunger, hatred, greed, war, genocide, occupation, the machinery of profit and neglect that crushes the poor and exhausts the earth. And yet, the light still burns. The divine breath still stirs among us, and whenever we remember who we are, we rise. And we saw this rising in our time in movements for housing and fair wages, in workers organizing and neighbors marching, in people who refuse, despair, and claim the power long denied them. As Zoran Mandani said in his victory speech, for as long as we can remember, working people have been told that power does not belong in their hands, fingers bruised from lifting boxes, palms calloused from delivery bikes, knuckles scarred from kitchen burns. These are not the hands allowed to hold power. And yet tonight, he said, against all odds, we have grasped it. The future is in our hands. That moment, when people claim what is already theirs, is what Diwali is about. It is what Jubilee is about. It is what this Freedom Church of the Poor embodies. Faith, not as belief, but as breath shared, work done, love practiced in the streets. And that love is not soft or abstract. It takes form in our hands and in our hearts. It labors, it lifts, it organizes, it shows up in hunger strikes and food drives, in picket lines and prayer circles, in every act that says we will not abandon one another. Because the divine does not dwell in palaces or towers or White Houses. It dwells in the kitchens, in shelters, in classrooms, in the hands that serve and the hearts that refuse to quit. It dwells in persistence, in those who keep showing up, who keep choosing justice, who keep breathing hope into this beautiful and broken world. So, this year, as the lamps of Diwali fade from the windowsills, may the light at the threshold remain. May it guide our steps from illusion to truth, from greed to generosity, from isolation to community, from despair to action. Because no kings, no tyrants, only people, equal, free, and unafraid. This is the work of Diwali. The struggle is ours. The hope is ours. The light is ours. Let it shine through all we do. May it be so.